Hi everybody, today is International Pinot Noir Day. So Pinot Noir, a grape variety world famous, grown throughout the world, and one that is famous for producing a different style of wine depending on its environment and the conditions under which it's grown. So classically grown in Burgundy, but also seen in places like coastal parts of California, like Santa Barbara, or further north in Oregon. They make some beautiful Pinot Noirs. Elsewhere in the New World, some really lovely South African Pinots, sort of, say, for instance, the Himalayan Valley. You get some good Pinots from Australia and places like the Adelaide Hills, and we make one or two quite nice Pinot Noirs here in New Zealand in places like Martinborough, Otago, and also Marlborough. So on this occasion I lighted on a Mercurey from Burgundy. So Mercurey is in the Côte Chalonnaise. Mercurey is the largest of the appellations within the Côte Chalonnaise, which is sometimes called the Région de Mercurey. It's a slightly old-fashioned way of describing it. The producer, Albert Bichot, is a family-owned company with 6 generations of winemaking involved. They own, I think it's 5 estates throughout Burgundy, including an 8-hectare estate in Mercurey itself. However, given the fact that on the label this actually says Vinifé, élève et mise en bouteille par Albert Bichot, I'm assuming that this is a négociant wine, so a wine from fruit that they have brought in. Having said that, Bichot have been one of the pioneering négociants in terms of upstream fruit quality management, and have been quite active in going to vineyards and to growers and determining picking times, determining crop levels, determining training, and all the various factors that ensure quality. So they're trying to make their name as a quality négociant as well as an estate owner themselves. So to look at the wine, perhaps actually just to put Mercurey more in perspective, the Côte Chalonnaise is south of the Côte d'Or, so the Côte de Beaune and the Côte de Nuits, where most of Burgundy's most expensive wines are made. So this tends to be an area where you'll get good quality wines, good examples of Pinot Noir made in a classically Burgundian style, but at a much more attractive price range. Maybe without quite the opulence of something from the Côte de Nuits or something like that. But so here we are with our Mercurey. Looking at the colour, first of all, it's darkly pigmented. That's quite a dark red, but it's not a deep red there. Maybe it's a 2016, lovely vintage. Perhaps becoming a little garnet at the rim, but really not a lot of colour loss. It's still bright and vibrantly ruby red. The aromas, I'm going to give it a good swirl. There's quite a spectrum of aromas there. You start off with some delicate strawberry and raspberry, lighter red fruit, but that soon expands to be much more a sort of a deep, almost jammy plum note. On the middle of the aromas, you get a huge amount of sort of developed vegetation. There's a sort of almost like leaf mould, forest floor, people say. And then at the finish, there are also tiny touches of spice, presumably coming from the oak, although there's no obvious cedar or vanilla. I mean, the notes on this wine said it was about a year in 10 to 20% new oak, with the rest being old oak, so it wouldn't give much of a flavour influence on that. Tasting the wine, it's completely dry, quite savoury, really good acidity. It's fresh, and they're really fine tannins. There's a grip to this. Now, Pinot Noir isn't classically a very tannic grape variety because it has, quite large, thin skin compared to the juice, so you have to work quite hard to get tannins out of it. But these have got a real graininess and a real grip to them, and that's one of the things that makes Pinot Noir, especially from Burgundy, where it has that savoury note, a really good accompaniment to food. So it'll combine with the fats in something like sort of duck or goose, etc., but yet you can still see the delicate flavours of the food through the lovely soft fruit of the Pinot Noir, and the acidity gives the wine a lovely length of fruit flavour without necessarily having huge fruit. I mean, to get the same sort of grip and length from a Bordeaux, you'd have to be big and tannic and structured, and this is more elegant and will go and complement a food. Today on International Pinot Noir Day, whatever you're drinking, I hope you enjoy it. Happy Pinot Noir Day. Bye now.